wrote that a top intel agency ruled out the man-made lab leak theory of the coronavirus origins. Again, the president was right about that. This reporter wrote a lie from the intelligence community to seek a narrative she wanted to prove, and guess what? We now know that's the truth.
The air in the CNN studio was charged as Karoline Leavitt and Jemele Hill took their seats for a live debate. The discussion was supposed to be about media integrity and political censorship, but everyone knew the stakes were much higher. Karoline, calm and composed in her navy blazer, faced off against Jemele, a seasoned progressive critic of conservative voices. Anderson Cooper, the moderator, barely had time to introduce the topic before the sparks started flying. Jemele struck first, accusing Karoline of spreading Trumpist propaganda disguised as truth. Karoline didn't flinch. "You don't get to define truth, Jemele," she replied, her voice firm. "When liberal voices dominate the media, censorship is applauded. When conservatives speak, it's suddenly a threat." The tension in the room was palpable. The crowd was divided, some reacting with gasps, others nodding in agreement with Karoline's challenge. The debate escalated quickly, with Jemele accusing Karoline of playing the victim and refusing to acknowledge her privilege. Karoline, however, wasn't about to let the emotional angle derail her. "Being a minority doesn't automatically make you right, Jemele," she retorted. "And being a conservative doesn't make me wrong. I'm tired of being labeled as a hate monger just for disagreeing." The audience was on edge, with the exchange turning personal as Jemele called out Karoline's career, accusing her of using her platform to amplify right-wing rhetoric. Karoline countered by saying she had earned every platform she stood on, and that it was a shame Jemele saw a simple difference of opinion as a call for censorship. As the back and forth intensified, the crowd grew quiet, leaning in to catch every word. Jemele fired back, accusing Karoline of speaking from a place of privilege, claiming that Karoline had never faced the same kind of systemic oppression she had. Karoline, unshaken, pointed out that being a minority didn't automatically grant someone the moral high ground. "I've earned my place by speaking the truth, not playing identity politics," she said, her voice steady and piercing. The audience was divided, some cheering, others booing. The emotional tension in the studio was impossible to ignore as the debate shifted to the issue of faith and patriotism. Karoline wore her faith on her sleeve, but Jemele accused her of using it to justify inequality and oppression. Karoline, unwavering, defended her right to express her beliefs and rejected the notion that faith and patriotism were tools of division. The argument grew more heated as Jemele argued that Karoline was trying to maintain the status quo, while Karoline insisted that tearing everything down wasn't progress. As the debate raged on, Anderson Cooper struggled to bring the conversation back to the topic of media responsibility, but it was clear that the ideological divide between the two women was the core of the discussion. The room was electric, with both women making their cases with unrelenting conviction. Karoline leaned in, challenging Jemele's assertion that conservatives only wanted to maintain privilege. She argued that true unity came from standing for truth, even when it wasn't popular. The audience was visibly split, some applauding Karoline's unyielding stance, others clapping for Jemele's impassioned defense of social justice. The studio lights seemed to glow brighter as the two women locked eyes, their differences laid bare. Then out of nowhere, a split screen flashed behind them. A live Twitter poll had been conducted, asking viewers who won the debate. Karoline was leading by a slim margin, 51% to Jemele's 49%. The tension in the room surged. Karoline, not missing a beat, stood tall and calmly remarked, "It's not about winning a poll. It's about whether you're willing to speak the truth, even when it costs you popularity." Jemele, undeterred, shot back, "Maybe it's about saying something that makes someone else finally feel seen." The clash wasn't just political anymore. It was a battle of ideologies, with each woman representing a different vision of America. The moment was explosive, with the debate dominating social media and news coverage. Clips of Karoline and Jemele went viral, with both sides claiming victory. Karoline was heralded as a rising star in conservative politics, while Jemele's supporters praised her resilience. It wasn't just a debate, it was a cultural flashpoint that had captured the nation's attention. Karoline's team was flooded with messages of support, while Jemele's camp was busy strategizing a response. Backstage, Karoline scrolled through her phone, unfazed by the online frenzy. She had made her point. This was about more than just politics. It was about standing for what she believed in, even when the world was watching. Jemele, on the other hand, wasn't backing down. She was already planning her next move, knowing that the fight was far from over. Both women had left their mark, but the fallout was just beginning. The media wasn't sure how to frame the debate, as both women's messages resonated in different ways. Some saw Karoline as a champion of traditional values, while others saw Jemele